Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at what makes you intoxicating to others, okay? I'm going to show you your shells now in a moment, but please just excuse my nails. I haven't had the time to fix them up. I've been very busy at the moment. But yeah, let me show you your shells. For pile number 1, we have this round darker shell. I'm not quite sure what it is. I tried to go search on Google, but there were just so many different ones. If you know, just let me know in the comments. For pile number 2, we have this cone shell. And for pile number 3, we have this lighter round shell. If you know what this one is, also please let me know in the comments. I think they might be the same. Okay. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. Pick whichever pile you're most drawn to. If you're drawn to more than one pile, you can pick 2 or all of them. Your intuition will always know best. You can also pause the video if you need more time, and if you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and then I will see you at your reading. Hi there, my pile number 1s. If you pick this darker round shell, then this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at what makes you intoxicating to others, okay? Please be aware this is a general reading, to only take what resonates and leave the rest, because the messages may differ for everyone watching. You chose the card Sensuality with Feminine Wisdom and Passion. I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of your cards for you. Okay, so the next card we have is Abundance with Fortune, Wealth, and Plenty. The next card we have is Live Out Loud. I love this. The next card we have is the Queen of Coins, which is the Queen of Pentacles. The next card we have is the Star. The next card we have is the Empress. The next card we have is the Wheel of Fortune. The next card we have is the Queen of Pentacles again. So that's interesting that this card shows up twice. The next card we have is the Ace of Wands. We have the Seven of Wands. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Queen of Swords. And lastly, we have the Star again. So interesting, Queen of Pentacles twice, and then the Star again twice. Okay, my pile number 1s. Now that we have your cards laid out, I see exactly what makes you intoxicating to others, okay? So I kind of, when I was laying down your cards, Spirit first showed me like a vision of popcorn. And then it's interesting because I kind of like closed my eyes after laying the cards down. And then I noticed like here, this kind of looks like popcorn. So it's very interesting. Okay, so with popcorn, I kind of feel the energy, you know, when we eat popcorn, we're watching something interesting like a movie, and then we're curled up by a blanket and like by our couch, and we're just watching like something dramatic or something very interesting. So I feel like perhaps your life is somewhat like that, or others look into your life almost like that. Like there is a lot of entertainment in your life, if that makes sense. Uh, I don't know how to explain it, but perhaps you're the type of person that always has the tea on everything and everyone, or perhaps you're the type of person that people just find your life interesting and they like to look in on your life because your life looks like you're living the fullest life, if that makes sense. Your life looks interesting, almost like a movie. And that kind of intoxicates people because, you know, the feeling I get is they watch in on your life, not in a bad way, but like kind of like, oh, what are my pal number ones gonna do next? Like, what are my pal number ones gonna do next? Like, their life is so interesting. What are my pal number ones gonna do next? Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense, but I don't see it in a bad way. More so like you are talked about in an interesting way. Like, oh, did you see my pal number ones with the abundance card, fortune, wealth, and plenty? Just got a new house, just got a new car. Even if you didn't, you know, with the Queen of Pentacles showing up twice as well, people or others assume that you are quite wealthy in some way. As well with the abundance card. So, oh, my pal number ones, did you see they just got a new car? Oh, my pal number ones, did you see they just got a new house? Did you see they just got a promotion? Did you see this? Their life looks so fabulous. Their life looks so like, just the energy I'm getting is like people almost talk about you, but it's in an interesting way. And it's kind of intoxicating to people to kind of look into your life because your life just seems so interesting. Okay, so, you know, also with these stars showing up twice, there's this feeling of others looking into your life almost like you're a celebrity, and they need to see what you're wearing next. They need to see what picture you're gonna post next. They need to see what the next move is gonna be, and it's that kind of energy where people almost get intoxicated in you, about you, in a way, like when they see what you're doing next. It's intoxicating to them because it feels almost like they're watching an entertaining movie, if that makes sense, or a reality TV show. And then Spirit was also showing me a vision of Marilyn Monroe when she was kind of like, I forgot what it was called, but she kind of did like this famous photo shoot, and she was standing somewhere on the road or on the street, and then the air was kind of like from, I think it was like those things on the ground, I'm not sure what they're called, but it was like letting air out onto her, and she was wearing this cute dress, and then she was doing the photo shoot, and the dress was going up in the air, and, you know, she had her hands down and made a pose. Like, they showed me that, and, you know, Marilyn Monroe was really just, you know, a wonderful woman. I think she wanted to be taken seriously later on in her life, but she was kind of seen as that kind of sex symbol in, you know, in the Hollywood kind of industry. So there is that feeling here, but not in the sense of like, I don't take this in a bad way, okay? Because I don't think Spirit would show me it if it was in a bad way. But the feeling I get here is almost like you're very hot, my pal number ones. You're very sexy. You're very alluring. And that's kind of what I'm picking up from your cards. With the sensuality card, with feminine wisdom and passion. The star card, we see a woman in a bikini. This Ace of Wands usually represents that sensual energy, you know what I mean, in this type of reading. And in the Empress card, we just see her looking so gorgeous, glam there, and you know, she's literally naked in that card. I had to cover it up. So there's also a bunny here representing fertility. So there is this kind of fertile energy to you. Also with the fruits, like she's holding up fruits. Perhaps some of you just look very healthy, or, you know, people talk about your health regime, like, oh, did you see my pal number ones? They're eating so healthy, they're going to the gym. Take it as it resonates. Or even if you're not, then they talk about your body and like how I wasn't going to do a reading about what people talk about you, but it's like people find it intoxicating to talk about your life, if that makes sense. Almost like you are a celebrity. Like you're a celebrity in their eyes. I don't know how to explain it, but you know, like when people go to those award shows and then they're all wearing different outfits, and then everyone on social media is posting about this person and their outfits, and it's just a whole talk. That's how I feel like people almost get intoxicated by speaking about your life because it seems glamorous in some way. Okay. So like, did you see my pal number ones? They look so healthy. Their skin is glowing. They look so appealing. Their body looks good. They look like they take care of themselves. That's the feeling I get here. Some of you just have this very sensual energy to you. And there's this feeling of like sometimes people of the same gender are scared that you'd like take their partner because of how sexy you are, my pal number ones. That's the feeling I get. Like people get intoxicated off of your sexiness, your attractiveness. Even if you don't view yourself as attractive, this is how others view you. And if you chose this pile, you know, you were drawn to this pile for a reason. There are so many cards here about sensuality. So it's like people get intoxicated off your sensuality, just like Marilyn Monroe. You know, everybody was in love with Marilyn Monroe. And that's the feeling I get with you, my pal number ones. Like, you can just do something cute, and pose in a cute way, and everyone goes crazy over you, just like Marilyn Monroe. You know what I mean? In that photo shoot she did, like, it was a famous photo shoot, and Spirit showed me that specific photo shoot. So there is that feeling of like people almost watching you and getting intoxicated by just looking at you, because you're very gorgeous, you're very handsome, you give off the sensual energy. Like everybody wants you, but not everyone can have you. That's the feeling I get here. And it's like your looks are ever growing. They're always growing to be even more gorgeous, more glam, more handsome. That's the feeling I get. And a lot of people are attracted to you in that way, and they find you very appealing and alluring. And there's this feeling of like they want you and all of you, but sometimes I feel like you reject people with the Seven of Wands. Or it's like sometimes these people don't want to feel these sensual feelings for you because the Seven of Wands is next to the Knight of Wands. But you're just so appealing that they kind of get intoxicated by your energy, if that makes sense. Or you reject people because you can see they're just looking at you for your body or for your physicality, like your physical looks. And you can sense that, and you kind of block them off, or you reject them in some way. And it feels like a blow to their ego, because now Spirit is also showing me the hot chick scene. I think it's the hot chick, yes. She is in the mall with her friends, and she gets some kind of milkshake for her and her friends, and she licks it in a very sensual way, and the man just pays for her drink and all her friends. And I feel like that's the kind of appeal you have to people, my pal number ones, where there's this feeling of like femme fatale. That's the feeling I get from you. But it's like how others are looking at you. If you don't look at yourself this way, that is okay. But I'm just reading the cards based on how others look at you. It's like they get intoxicated by the thought of ever being with you, even though chances are pretty slim. Because I feel like a lot of people want you, but not many people can have you, because you kind of hold that power of like, I feel like you have strong boundaries with the Queen of Swords, and you talk and you don't allow disrespect. You don't allow people in your life that are just trying to use you in some type of way, you know what I mean? But I feel like you have that kind of appeal to you where you could manipulate people with your looks. I'm not saying to do it, but I'm seeing that you could have that kind of appeal to you, like Marilyn Monroe. That's the feeling I get. Like, people get intoxicated of just looking at you. If you ever post pictures on Instagram, my woman, like in bikinis, or if you've ever walked on a beach in a bikini, there's this feeling of people just like their mouths watering over you. There's this feeling of you holding a lot of sensuality, but also a lot of this energy, like you magnetize people and things in, and that makes people intoxicated, because it's kind of like their thoughts go out of the window when they're with you, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what I'm picking up from like the opposite gender. In terms of the same gender, I feel like there is this energy of like, you know how I said people looking at your life as it's pretty entertaining, something like that. There is this feeling of like people looking into your life and wanting to be your friend because your life looks entertaining. But there's also this feeling of people of the same gender speaking about you after like going out with you or having fun with you, because we have the live out loud card. So I just feel like you kind of give off that energy of like life of the party vibe to others, even if you don't view yourself that way. You have that life of the party energy that others view you as, and it's kind of like people get intoxicated by your energy, especially if they're friends with you, or they're just having a night out of fun with you, or going somewhere with you, shopping somewhere. I don't know where you go, but that's the feeling I get. Like when you go out and you're having fun with people, it's like people find you intoxicating because you're so much fun to be around. Even if you don't see yourself that way, these people that I'm reading on, I feel their energy, and it's kind of like people almost, I'm hearing fawn over you, like as if you're a celebrity. That's the feeling I get. Like you just shine so much with the star showing up twice. You give off this like energy of like people putting you on a pedestal, if that makes sense. People naturally just put you on a pedestal because your energy is so intoxicating, and it's like people just want to be around you. They find so much fun just being around you. That's the feeling I get here. And it's like you shine so brightly whenever you go anywhere, wherever you walk. It's like you just steal all eyes on you because you shine so brightly, with the star showing up twice. With the star showing up twice, there's also this feeling of everyone talks about you. You're just like seen as this glamorous person with a glamorous life. And people view you as very abundant in some way, or that your energy is abundantly intoxicating, if that makes sense. It's like people almost just, their logic goes out of the window and they get intoxicated by your energy and they just crave your energy is what I'm feeling here. I'm hearing Spirit kind of joke with me, and it's like I'm kind of hearing, like, I don't know how to put this in words. I was hearing like Spirit almost sing a song, but I don't know if it exists, like the song, but I think Spirit is just joking around. And it's like something about Mary Jane, like Mary Jane takes all my money, Mary Jane takes all my time, like almost like if someone was addicted to that kind of substance. But Spirit is joking with me like that, in a sense of like, people almost get obsessed with you, that they want to spend money on you. They want to go out with you. They want to have fun with you. You're all that's on their mind. They kind of get addicted to you. And it's how do I put this in words? I can't even speak today. Like, that's the feeling I get of people, how they are around you. It's like they get this excitement from being in your energy, and they get intoxicated off your energy, but they also get addicted. And it's funny that this message is showing up, that they get addicted to your energy, and they just want to spend all their time with you. That it is funny that it came out in this reading, because it is a reading about intoxication. You know what makes you intoxicating to others. So it's interesting that came out. But yeah, I just feel like, Spirit is also showing me a vision of Mean Girls, when Regina George drives with the other two girls, and she's like, get in, loser, we're going shopping. And then I think her name was Katie. She was like, Regina's like the Barbie girl everyone wanted. I've never seen anyone so glamorous. And Spirit keeps showing me that scene. You're like that Barbie doll everyone wants, if that makes sense. I don't mean that in a literal way, like it doesn't have to be related to gender, but I just mean that in a sense of like, people just fawn over your energy. They want to be around you all the time. It's like your life seems glamorous in some way. People talk about you and they find you intoxicating to have fun with, to be around, to go to restaurants with, to go shopping with. They want to go to your house and see what everyone's saying. If your house is really big like they say it is, if you're really rich and abundant like they say it is, or it's just your energy is so intoxicating that, people just want to buy gifts for you. People just want to pay your rent. Like, that's the feeling I get. And it's like you're kind of like the talk of the town, and you're that Barbie doll that everyone wants. Not to say you are a Barbie doll, but it's like that energy. Everybody wants you around them, and your life just looks very glamorous. They've never seen anyone so glamorous. That's the feeling I get from you, my pal number ones. And that's what's so intoxicating about your energy to others. So I'm seeing that very heavily, and I'm just seeing that you shine a lot with everything you do, everywhere you walk, everywhere you are. You just shine and you take up space, and everybody wants to be around you and just be in your energy and laugh with you, have dinner with you, have fun with you. That's the feeling I get. And also your voice with the Queen of Swords is very alluring and intoxicating, and it's like people just love to hear you speak. I'm feeling like sometimes people just stare at you and watch you speak, because it's almost like they're just in awe of your energy. And that's how intoxicating you are to others, my pal number ones. I really hope that this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye! Hi there, my pal number twos. If you chose this cone shell, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at what makes you so intoxicating to others. So please be aware this is a general reading, to only take what resonates and leave the rest, as the messages may differ for everyone watching. You chose the card Summoning Power with Instinct, Intellect, and Control. I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of your cards for you. Okay, for your cards, we have go with the flow with letting go, cleansing, and receiving. For your next card, we have pleasure. Yeah, I feel like putting this card here. For your next card, we have the Six of Cups. Next, we have the Empress. Next, we have the Devil. Next, we have the Moon. Next, we have the Star. Next, we have the Tower. Next, we have the Four of Wands. We have the Moon again, so that's interesting. Right under each other. I think that's very cool. We have the Empress again. I think it's very cool when same cards come out from different tarot decks, because it just shows that Spirit is giving the same message through different types of decks and different cards amplified. It's very cool. And then we have the Tower again under this one. I don't think that's a coincidence. Okay, my pile number 2s, now that we have your cards laid out, I see exactly what makes you so intoxicating to others. So I'm just kind of closing my eyes to just see what Spirit wants to show me. I kind of just feel drawn to doing that today. Spirit is showing me a book, like someone journaling in a book. And the feeling I get is like, let's say, you know, you're by the swimming pool or outside, like, or by the beach, just journaling in a book, reading a book. There's this energy of like people looking at you and feeling intoxicated by you. The fact that you also look very smart, very knowledgeable. And it's like people are kind of just drawn to your looks. The first thing I'm kind of getting, but then they also find you really dreamy and attractive while you're just doing something. Doesn't have to necessarily be reading a book or journaling in a book, but it's like people find you very attractive, and that's the first thing that makes them kind of intoxicated by your energy. When they look at you first for the first time, it's kind of like I'm hearing falling in love for the first time. So people find you very appealing and interesting when they look at you, when you're in your own little world doing something that means something to you and you're not really looking for attention from others. You kind of just shine in your own magnetic way, and that makes you very intoxicating to others, especially people that are attracted to you. With the Devil card showing up here, I kind of get this dangerous kind of energy people look at you with. So similar to pile number 1, I feel like you're very sensually appealing and attractive. I get like the vibe that others look at you as like this femme fatale kind of energy. Doesn't have to do with gender, but like this energy of like you looking dangerous in some way, you looking very sensually appealing in some type of way, you being magnetic and attracting people in, because I mean the Empress even showed up twice. So to me the Empress is like that energy of Venusian energy of like, I just magnetize and attract people in. I don't even have to do much. I'm just sitting here looking pretty and I attract everyone in. You may not even want to attract these people in, because the feeling I get is like people kind of get it intoxicated by your energy in a sensual way. But not just sensually, I also feel like they're attracted to your looks in some type of way. They feel like you're very, you look very interesting in some way, but you also look very appealing, attractive, alluring. I'm hearing seductive as well. But I don't feel like you want all this attention per se from people, like in a sensual way, because I feel like people are very attracted to you. But you know, with the summoning power card, we see a woman throwing a bone to these wolves, and she's making these wolves calm down before she throws the bone. You know what I mean? And it kind of reminds me of this conversation I had with my friend the other day. It wasn't the other day, it was like 2-3 weeks ago. And I was kind of like, I don't like that energy of like when people just look at you for your physical attraction and just kind of like only look at you for the physical and like not like want to get to know you better. They just want something, like they just look at you in a sensual way, but you're not trying to be looked at that way. Like that was what I was saying to her. And she was like, kind of like to me, she joked like, don't take this the wrong way. It was just like kind of like a joke. But she kind of just said like, men are like dogs, where you have to throw the bone to them and they just want this bone. And you're that bone and they just want that bone. I don't mean it in a way like in a bad way, but those type of people, you get what I mean, that just want something from you in that way. I don't mean it in a way like that at all, because I know not all men are like that, and women can be like that too. So I think she was just making a joke there, but the kind of energy I feel here is like that kind of energy. Spirit just reminding me of that joke she made, but like in a subtle way through the cards, if that makes sense. Because Spirit sometimes creates like inside jokes with me that explain the message behind it, if that makes sense. So yeah, like, you know, she said to me, sometimes like people are like dogs. If they're very attracted to you, they just want that bone. But you have to tell the dog, you know, sit, first sit, and then you can get the bone. First be a good dog, and then you get the bone. And I feel like you have that type of power over people, where they're kind of like, almost like, I'm not saying people are literally dogs, but I'm just like explaining the energy. Like, let's say someone is very attracted to you and they kind of just want you now, and their mouths are watering for you, and they're just so attracted to you because they see you and they just are so attracted to you. They've never seen you before and they just want you right now. And then you have that power to be like, no, I want to get to know you first, like, that kind of energy, if that makes sense. So you kind of reject them for the moment, and then like it kind of makes their whole world fall apart with the Tower card, because you know, we see someone shining here with the Star card and the Empress, you know, drawing people in, appealing them in with the Star and the Empress. Like, your beauty is magnetizing, your handsomeness, attractiveness is magnetizing, shining like a star, you know what I mean? And then they're so attracted to you, they're flying in here trying to be in your energy, people that are attracted to you, and then you're kicking over the tower. We see a crown falling on her head as she kicks over the tower. So I see that as like you kicking over the tower, rejecting them, saying no, but then with the crown there, it's kind of like taking your power back putting that crown back on your head and like putting yourself in that high standard of like, no, I'm gonna say no and reject their thing for now, because they can see it's just coming from a place of I'm hearing lust. Okay, so that's the feeling I get here. Like when people are kind of lustful over you, you can sense it and you reject them, because with the moon showing up twice, I feel like you're very intuitive, my pal number twos, where you can sense what people's intentions are. You can sense, I mean, look at this dog even with its tongue out. Like, it wants this, does it want the crab or the moon? I don't know. It's like you can sense people's mouths just watering over you for something physical, you know what I mean? You can sense that almost like devilish part of them telling them like they want you in a lustful way. Like I don't want to talk about this too much, but I'm seeing it, and it's like what makes you intoxicating to others. It's like the first thing people notice. I'm going to speak about other things as well, but I feel like this is the first thing people notice, as well as your attractiveness, your beauty, your handsomeness. It just shines out in a way, and you attract a lot of lovers to you. But when you see them and you sense them having motives that are not the ones you want, you kind of I feel like I'm hearing from spirit that you almost break their ego by taking your power back and putting that crown back on your head. And it's like something in them almost falls apart with the tower here. And it's not in a bad way. It's kind of just like perhaps you trigger a rejection wound in them because they've never been rejected before. But it's kind of like that energy of like, you having strong boundaries and not allowing people to mess you around or, you know, control you in any way. It's like you're just following your intuition, and you are allowed to reject people, even if they take it the wrong way. You know, you're allowed to reject people. But it kind of makes them fall, like almost like they're falling from a tower here. It makes them feel like their whole world's falling apart, but I feel like it makes them even more attracted to you, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like they get even more attracted to you when you reject them. But then they know to respect you, almost like, you know, an owner throwing the dog the bone, but saying for a sit. It's like they respect you more because you do that. And it's like then they find you even more appealing, but then they know to kind of take a step back because they came on too strong, if that makes sense. I didn't want to speak about that too long because this is not even an 18 plus reading, but you know, it's what I'm seeing in your cards. It's like your beauty is magnetizing, is intoxicating in some way. That logic just goes out of the window, and you have this kind of dangerous kind of sensual appeal to you where it's like people's mouths just water over you. Okay, it's kind of like you just lure people in, is what I feel like with your energy. You're very magnetizing, and that's what makes people kind of like intoxicated by you, because it's like you have a seductive energy, even if you know you don't see yourself that way. This is how others see you, is like you have a seductive energy, but you hold yourself to a higher standard, and you don't just allow anyone to be in your energy. You know what I mean? That's the feeling I get. You hold yourself to a high standard, and people naturally just put you on a pedestal because of that. And your energy is very intoxicating in the sense where people find you just very beautiful, very much like wherever you walk, you just shine in some type of way. You just attract eyes on you in some type of way. I'm hearing some of you are quite photogenic, and it's like people just, you know, they're scrolling on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you post, TikTok, and it's like they almost just stare at you for a while because they kind of get intoxicated by your look, because your look shines so much, but also your energy is magnetizing and appealing in some type of way that is like the first thing people notice. So maybe it's why I'm picking up on it very strongly. You know what I mean? But I am going to mention more of your other traits that are also intoxicating. So I just kind of want to see if Spirit has anything else to show me. What makes my pile number 2s intoxicating to others? They're still showing me a book. Your intelligence, my pile number 2s. Your intelligence is intoxicating. Like when you speak to people, they hear your intelligence through your voice and they think that you're so appealing. I'm hearing busy schedule. Some of you have very busy schedules, and it's like, let's say someone wants to ask you out on a date or go out with you in some type of way. It doesn't have to be romantic, like friendship, and then you're like, oh, I need to check my schedule because this day I'm busy and this day I'm working and this day I'm busy. Like, it's like you have a busy schedule, and then people just feel intoxicated by your energy sometimes because you're more busy, and it's like they see that as appealing in some way, because it's like you choose who you allow in your circle and your energy, and you're very aware of the energies. With the moon showing up twice, you're very intuitive, so you know who to let in your circle and who not to let in your circle. And it's like people feel even more intoxicated by your energy when you have that kind of busy schedule, or they see that you're not letting in a lot of people into your life because you're quite cautious of who you let into your circle. Then they feel kind of honored to be around you, if that makes sense. And then they're even more intoxicated and excited by your energy. I kind of get a similar vibe to pile number 1, if I'm going to be honest. It's very similar. So if you were drawn to that, please go and watch it. But it also has its differences here. So yeah, like I said, your intelligence. I'm not seeing any cards about intelligence, but Spirit keeps showing me a book. So I find that as like knowledge. You're very knowledgeable. You're very smart. You're very intelligent. And when you speak to people, people find that very intoxicating, because it's like they want to get to know your mind with the moon here. They want to get to know your psyche. They want to, like, I'm hearing that TikTok sound, like, do you ever wonder what's on someone's mind? Like something along those lines. I can't remember. But it's like people want to know what's in your psyche, what's in your mind. People want to know what you're feeling when you're kind of just in your own world. Like if you're sitting around, like looking pretty or handsome and just doing your own thing. It's like people want to know what's in your head. People find your world to be kind of magical in a sense where they want to be part of your world too. And now Spirit is showing me the Little Mermaid, wish I could be part of your world, where she sings that. It's like people wish they could be a part of your world because you kind of just hold yourself to a higher standard, and you know your worth, and you see the energy. And I'm hearing vibes don't lie, something like that. And you trust the vibes, and it's like people wish they could be a part of your world, but they could also wish they could be seeing what your brain is seeing how you look at the world from your perspective. It's like people find you to be very intuitive, very much understanding the spiritual concepts or spirituality in some type of way, or maybe they just find you very knowledgeable when it comes to emotions, when it comes to, I'm hearing emotionally intelligent, okay? Some of you, I'm hearing some of you have studied psychology, okay? That's just a specific message for some of you. And the kind of feeling I get here is like people want to be part of your world. People want to see what's in your brain, what you're thinking of, because it looks magical in some way. And that makes people intoxicated, because it's like when they talk to you, they just want to know more about you. It gives off this mysterious vibe. Like, since you hold yourself to a high standard, you don't chase people. You kind of magnetize and pull people in. Or this is just how others see you. Even if you don't see yourself this way, this is how others see you. And then they kind of just feel magnetized by your energy, and they kind of feel like they're almost chasing you, wanting to get to know you better, wanting to know more and more about you. And it's like they find that intoxicating in some way. Even just being around you is intoxicating, because they almost feel honored to be around your energy, if that makes sense. Okay, Spirit is showing me like a chocolate Easter egg. Okay, and then like sharing that Easter egg with someone. So people find it intoxicating when you share something with them. This is a specific message for some of you. Like, let's say you're going out and you drink a sip of your water and you give it to someone you're attracted to, that they take a sip of water from your drink. It's like they almost feel like, I'm kissing my pal number twos indirectly. Or like, let's say you share like a snack with someone. It's almost like they feel intoxicated or shocked by it in some way. Like they feel, I feel like people almost like similar to pile number one with the star showing up and the emperor showing up twice. People almost put you on this pedestal, and then like when you do something kind to them, or you share with them in some way, or you talk to them in some way, it's almost like they get, I'm hearing exasperated, and they like kind of get excited over you, and they want to be around you, not just romantic but also friendship. It's like, oh, pile number twos are talking to me, I can't believe they're talking to me. Like that kind of energy of almost like a celebrity, even if you're not a celebrity, because most of the time it's just like normal people watching. It kind of feels like that, like people just put you on a high pedestal, and you shine everywhere you go, and it's like people almost feel intoxicated just speaking to you and being around you. And it's kind of like, you know, in those movies when someone like, let's say a celebrity shares half of, like we said, an Easter egg with someone, and then they keep it for years because they're like, this was so and so's chocolate, and I kept it for years and years and years, and then people are just looking at them like they're crazy. I feel like you almost give people that vibe. That's how people get intoxicated by your energy. Like, also your personality is really fun to be around with the pleasure card. And the Empress showing up twice, like people just feel fun to be around you. They feel like if they had to go out with you and, you know, have a night out of fun with you, you're very pleasurable to be around, even with the Four of Wands. It feels like a celebration being around you, and people find your energy very intoxicating because you're very fun. I'm hearing you make people laugh. You're just very fun to be around, and people often think about the times that they've had with you with the Six of Cups, the memories they've had with you, and they find that very intoxicating in some way, because it's like, you're just so fun to be around, and it's like they kind of see you as like the life of the party, even if you don't see yourself that way. Because I feel a lot of you, or some of you, are quite introverted, but you just have this fun vibe, but you also have this peaceful, go with the flow kind of vibe, with the Emperor showing up twice and the go with the flow card. So I guess it just depends on the day. For some of you, like some days you're more on the peaceful vibe, like peaceful, serene energy, and people kind of feel intoxicated by that because they feel a sense of peace being around you. And when they're going out with you, having fun with you, they feel a sense of celebration around you. So I think you invoke strong feelings in people. is what I'm getting from like the overall vibe here of everything I've spoken about. You invoke strong and deep feelings in people because you're so connected to your own feelings and your own intuition, like the lunar energies, if that makes sense. And it makes you intoxicating to people, where it's kind of like people fall in love with you even in a friendship way, and it's like they kind of get obsessed over you, or like they put you on this high pedestal and you invoke strong, deep feelings in people, and they find those feelings that you invoke in them, whatever feeling it is, whether it is jealousy, whether it is lust, whether it is attraction, falling in love. Like, I'm feeling like you even make people fall in love with you and like want to get married to you with the Four of Wands here. That's the feeling I get here. Like, they don't even know you long, but they want to get married to you because they fall so hard for you. Let's say someone's your friend and they kind of fall in love with you in a friendship type of way, like they just want to be around you. It's like you invoke strong, deep feelings in people, and then they kind of get high or intoxicated off of those feelings you invoke in them, if that makes sense. So that is like the overall vibe I'm picking up on. You just make people fall hard for you, even in a friendship way, even in a romantic way. Whatever feelings you invoke in people, you make them kind of fall hard and like fast and like get very attached to you, is what I'm hearing from spirit. But it makes them intoxicated in a way, just being around you, is what I'm picking up on. Lastly, we see the devil kind of whispering in her ear. I also feel like when I said jealousy, sometimes people get intoxicated by speaking about you. So it is similar to pile number one, because in pile number one, I said I saw popcorn and people looking at their lives like their lives are so glamorous, and it's like people find enjoyment speaking about you, not gossiping about you in a rude way. Some of it is jealousy, but I'm not picking up on jealousy that strongly in your reading. More so like attraction and people just kind of fawning over your energy. But like, let's say, you do something today, like you post a picture on Instagram. It's like everyone's like, oh, did you see my pal number two's post? Like, oh my gosh, they look so pretty. Like, oh my gosh, like that's the feeling I get. Or like an old lover that you never talk to anymore, like you post a new picture and then they're showing their friends like, I used to date pile number twos, like, can you believe it? And then they're like, no, you're lying, you never dated that person's out of your league. Like, I just feel like you have that kind of energy, like where people also enjoy talking about you, but not in a bad way, you know what I mean? So that is the energies I feel from your reading. I also feel like some of you do something creative, or you have certain types of talents, and people kind of get intoxicated from buying your things. Like, for some of you, I'm seeing, you sew dresses or like clothes, or like for some of you, you're intuitive, you do actual readings, you're connected to spirit in some way. For some of you, you have specific types of talents or gifts or creative things you like to do, with the Emperor showing up twice and the Star. There's something you are really talented at and get recognition for, and it's like people also get intoxicated off of that, buying from you or buying a service from you. Some of you are hairdressers, I'm hearing, and like people get intoxicated off buying that from you. Take it as it resonates. Everyone has different talents here, but the feeling I'm getting is like, if you post like products or services and like people buy from that in some way, or you have talents, some of you are artistic in some type of way, it's like people almost fawn over that, if that makes sense. So that was your reading, my pal number twos. I really hope that this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hi there, my pal number threes. If you chose this lighter Round shell, this reading is for you. We're going to be taking a look at what people find intoxicating about you. Okay, you chose the card telepathy with transmission, perception, and communication. Please be aware this is a general reading to only take what resonates and leave the rest, as the messages may differ for everyone watching. I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of your cards for you now. Okay, so for your cards, we have opening heart with deep connections and water blessings. We have naked. We have the 9 of Wands. We have the 7 of Cups. For your tarot cards, we have the 10 of Pentacles. We have the Lovers. We have the 9 of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the 6 of Swords. We have the 6 of Pentacles. We have the 3 of Pentacles. And lastly, we have the 3 of Cups. Okay, my pile number 3s. Now that we have your cards laid out, I see exactly what makes you intoxicating to others. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, you know, when I started now, when I was just organizing your cards properly, I felt something like in my throat chakra, like almost like my throat was sore and I needed to drink water. So I take that as almost like people get very thirsty over you. You know, with the Mummy Water card and the telepathy card, it kind of reminds me of the other reading I did a few days ago. I can't remember which one it was, but I said something like about the Love Witch, and in that scene, she kind of just sat there and her energy was so magnetizing. She was sitting on a bench and she just looked over at the man that was a professor, and he kind of just was speaking to this other woman there, and she just looked at him and drawed him in with her eyes. And he just stopped speaking to that other woman and walked over to her immediately. Because he was so magnetized and attracted to her energy. And I feel that energy again. So, you know, with the Mummy Water card, if you know about Mummy Water, she's kind of like this water spirit that a lot of people talk about in the Caribbean. In the Caribbean, I think they call her La Siren. In the other I think in Haiti they call her Mummy Water, and you know, she's said to kind of lure people in like a siren with her voice, and like she just lures people in. And I kind of get that vibe with the telepathy card as well, like you just look at people and you draw them in, or like your voice draws them in, almost like a siren, like a mermaid kind of energy. Because I mean, we even have the Queen of Swords here. So it's like people get very thirsty over your energy. People love to hear your voice. They get very intoxicated by hearing your voice, and you almost lure them in like a siren, like a mermaid type of energy. You just lure people in with your energy, because it's kind of like you open your heart to them, and you don't have to necessarily say anything to draw them in. It's kind of like a telepathic kind of communication where you just draw them in naturally and lure them in. And with the throat chakras, like where my throat was getting sore, I kind of see that as the energy of like when others look at you and they're lured in by your magnetizing energy, almost like a siren. It's like they can't stop staring at you, or they can't stop looking at you. They have to come over and talk to you, but they're kind of scared to talk to you, is the feeling I get here. So, you may have a very magnetizing and appealing presence to others romantically with the Lover's card, but also friendship wise with the Three of Cups. And it's like sometimes people are attracted to you, but they're too scared to talk to you because you have this energy of like, I feel like similar to pile number 2, you're very wary of who you let into your circle, who you speak to. Your heart is open to deep connections. But I feel like you're very intuitive in the sense where when people have the wrong intentions, or you're just kind of wary of who you allow in your circle. So people naturally sense that energy, and they sense, like with the Six of Pentacles, that you choose who you allow in your circle. You choose who you allow to love around you, if that makes sense. Of course, you're a very loving person. You treat people like family is what I'm seeing, but you're very wary of who you allow into your circle. And I feel like people naturally put you on a pedestal where they already think that you know how appealing and magnetizing you are, that they sometimes don't tell you, or they sometimes feel too scared to speak to you because they kind of feel like you're out of their league, like you'd kind of be generous to just speak to them, if that makes sense. So sometimes they just leave and they don't say anything to you, but they're kind of lured in by your energy, if that makes sense. So I feel like that is the first thing like I'm seeing and noticing in your cards, is like you lure people in almost like a siren, like a mermaid. You just lure people in with your energy, and it's like this telepathic kind of communication, and they feel very attracted to you romantically, but also friendship wise, where like people get friendship crushes on you and like, oh my gosh, I want to be friends with pile number 3s. They look so cool to be friends with. Like, that's the feeling I get here. But I'm not just getting like a sensual energy. I'm feeling like people fall in love with you. They want to be with you. I just feel like people want to open their heart to you because they just feel your energy and it feels so magnetizing. We have 1122 here. That may be an angel number some of you are seeing. And then we have 3 plus 3 is 6, and then we have 6 and 6. So there is that energy of like, sometimes like with the 666, similar to pile number 2, the devil card came out, and I said to pile number 2, they have this dangerous energy, like they kind of just lure people in, and I feel like that's kind of like you, my pile number 3s, but I'm reading in between the lines of your cards. But I feel like people mostly have like a romantic energy towards you and feel very attracted to you, and the attraction they have towards you is kind of intoxicating when they see you out in public or just see you somewhere. It's like they have to have you, they have to talk to you. You're just so magnetizing, and that makes people intoxicated by your energy. So I also heard the car alarm go off when I started your reading, like while I was just organizing the cards. A car alarm outside. So it's like when people see you walk somewhere, it's like they get very alert of your energy. Almost like when a car alarm goes off, everyone notices it. And that's you. I feel like everyone notices you when you walk past them in some type of way. Wherever you go, people notice you, and they feel very intoxicated just looking at you, if that makes sense. There is a lot of attraction kind of energy here. But I also feel like people get very intoxicated by you when you open your heart to them, when you speak to them with the Queen of Swords. Something about your voice is so magnetic and appealing, and like people just love to speak to you all day. They can speak to you all day, all night. Like that's the feeling I get, and people get intoxicated by speaking to you, by opening their heart to you, by creating deep connections with you. And with the Naked card, this card talks about emotional vulnerability, with all the water, and the opening heart card with the water there. So it's like people feel intoxicated when they create deep connections with you and have emotionally vulnerable conversations with you and just open up their heart to you in some type of way by speaking to you, and that makes them very intoxicated by your energy and by you. And it's like this feeling of, how I said, people almost feel like you're out of their league in friendship vibes, but also romantic. When they do get to talk to you, it's like they get very excited and they naturally put you on this pedestal. And they get very excited to talk to you and to open up to you and to just, I feel like people may even just feel very trusting towards you, where they just tell you about deep things in their life or deep things on their mind, and they're comfortable opening up and speaking to you and opening up their heart to you. And when people feel your love, it's like they feel very intoxicated by you. I mean, just look at these two women look into each other's eyes. It's just so beautiful. Like there's so much romance there. When people look into your eyes, they feel intoxicated, almost like by love, if that makes sense. Like Spirit is showing me Cupid's arrow, and Cupid shooting an arrow into someone, and they just see hearts everywhere when they look into your eyes, metaphorically. So there is that, but I also feel like in a friendship way as well with the Three of Cups. So I do see like when people kind of open up to you and create relationships or connections with you, whether it's friendship or romantic, they get very intoxicated by just speaking to you, by looking into your eyes, by you opening up your heart to them. It makes them very intoxicated in some way. It's like love is in the air. That's the kind of feeling I get. Very Venusian energy you have, my pile number threes. That is intoxicating to people. And people just feel like you're very trustworthy. They can open up to you very quickly, and they just feel intoxicated by being around you, by speaking to you. It's like they can feel your heart is open, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm seeing that, and I'm also seeing like when people kind of like, let's say they're going out somewhere and they're about to see you. There's this kind of energy of maybe they were sad before, but you come there with this bright energy and you open up your heart to people, you have deep conversations with them, and then, they had challenges that day with the Nine of Wands, but they go home very happy. And, there's almost this feeling with the Seven of Cups. People also enjoy daydreaming about you, or just kind of thinking back to the memories you've had together, daydreaming about you, friendship and romantic. And it's like they feel very intoxicated by your energy. You give off this very dreamy, alluring vibe, my pile number threes, that makes people very happy, because it's like you help them see the beauty in the world, even after having tough or terrible moments in their life. Or just like, let's say someone comes to you and they want to be your friend, and you plan a date together with the Three of Pentacles, where you're getting coffee, you're going shopping, something like that, and they just have so much fun with you that they forget about all their problems. You know what I mean? That's the feeling I get, and I feel like that's also partly why people get intoxicated by your energy, because your energy kind of feels like an escape, if that makes sense. Not in a bad way, but just like, when you're reading a good book and you're escaping in that book, or you're having a tough day and then you watch a series and it's so interesting and you kind of escape into that. That's the feeling I get. Like you invite people into your world, in a way, into your heart, and then they feel very loved and very open after that, and then they go home and then they feel very good after a hard day or a sad day. Like, that's the feeling I get. You cheer people up in a way, and that's very intoxicating to them. I'm also feeling like, in terms of friendship, like people almost just want to be your friend. That's the feeling I get. And now Spirit is showing me a vision I saw for pile number 1, where I saw like Regina George saying to her, to Katie, like, get in loser, we're going shopping. And then she was like, Regina's like the Barbie girl everyone wanted. I've never seen anyone so glamorous. That's the kind of feeling people get from you when they want to be your friend. Like, you seem very glamorous to them in a way with the 9 of Pentacles. You look very glam in some way. You look like you have a lot going for yourself in your life. It doesn't just have to do with finances, but it's like people would love to have you as their friend around. It's like, it doesn't have to do with gender, but it's like people would love to have you as a friend around, and they just kind of naturally fawn over your energy, if that makes sense. And they get intoxicated by it. And I feel like with the 9 of Pentacles, it's almost like people love to buy you gifts, or they plan to buy you extravagant gifts, or they plan to kind of go on fun days with you where you know, like either you go shopping together, or like I'm seeing Christmas shopping for gifts, like, or you go somewhere really expensive, because 9 of Pentacles is like a luxurious vibe. Then they want to plan to go on like a date with you that is very expensive, or go out to a restaurant with you as friends, and like, or a bar restaurant, and have a lot of fun with you and just spend a lot of money on you or with you. I feel like people love being generous with you, and they almost like get very intoxicated by it. So just take the messages as they resonate, my pile number 3s. If you don't really have people buying gifts for you or doing that for you, it's kind of like they plan to do that, or they want to do that for you, but they don't know how to say it, if that makes sense. Because like I said, when I felt the throat chakra sore, that to me is like scared of saying something. You know what I mean? So this may be what people want to do, and they get intoxicated thinking or planning about it, but maybe it never happens. I don't know. I'm also feeling here like people get intoxicated by planning days with you with the 3 of Pentacles. It's like people want to plan things with you. They want to go on holiday trips with you. They want to plan romantic getaways with you, or romantic dates with you, or friendship kind of dates. Like, that's the feeling I get. Like, people kind of get intoxicated off seeing you again, because they have so much fun with you, and they just feel your hearty energy, your love, if that makes sense, and they get intoxicated off of your love, if that makes sense. So that is kind of the energy I'm picking up on. And I feel like you treat everyone like family. You treat everyone so good. You're very nurturing and kind and loving, and people just feel that love around you. Like I said, it's very Venusian, but in the sense of like Venus energy of love, but also beauty, if that makes sense. So that's kind of like the energy I'm seeing for you, my pile number 3s, of what makes you so intoxicating. I also feel like, I don't know why, I keep getting the message like people just fall in love with you, and they feel happy after having a day with you. People love to be friends with you and like be around you, around your energy. I'm also picking up like work vibes, or like school. If people get in groups with you or teams with you, they love working with you, and they kind of get intoxicated by your ideas, by your energy, if that makes sense. You kind of bring out people's inner child. You're very fun to be around, and that makes people intoxicated in some way, because they feel like their inner child is coming out to play with you, if that makes sense. You're very playful and very loving, okay? And And I'm also seeing you just make people feel at home. You make people feel comfortable, and people get intoxicated by that, as well as like, I feel like you're very fair, balanced, and truthful, and people feel like that gives them the vibe that they can trust you in some type of way. And I also feel here like when you set boundaries with others or you say no, it kind of makes them a little bit more intoxicated with your energy. I can't remember where I said this. I think it was in pile 2 where, I'm not sure, but I said like something about when you reject people, they kind of get even more intoxicated by you. In this sense, I feel like when you set boundaries or say no, or like I'm busy, or kind of set a boundary, it makes them even more intoxicated. It makes them want you even more, if that makes sense. It makes you even more appealing. Like, let's say, a friend wants to go and plan a day with you, and then you're like, oh, I can't go on this day because I'm busy with work. You look like you have a lot going on for you in your career, or just like you are going to be very successful one day. And it's like people very much like get inspired by that, if that makes sense. And then they see that you're working hard, and then they get inspired by it, and they're like, I should work that day too. Or yeah, like that's the energy I feel. So people also get inspired by you, and they feel intoxicated by getting inspiration from you. But then at the same time, like, they're like, okay, that person's busy this day. My pal number 3 is busy this day. I should do something too, but I really can't wait to see them now. Like, it's going to be further, but I can't wait to see them. Like that kind of energy. You get what I mean? My pal number 3s. And also your voice. Like when people talk to you, they just want to hear your voice even more. They just want to hear you speak and speak and speak. And they want to know about your day. They want to know what's on your mind. They want you to kind of invite you into their heart space when they speak to you, if that makes sense. And that makes people very intoxicated by you. And it's like people just want to hear you speak like a mermaid. Some of you could also have beautiful singing voices. That's just for some of you. But yeah, that is the energy I'm feeling from your reading, my pal number 3s, of what makes you so intoxicating to others. I really hope that this reading resonated. If it did, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next reading. Bye!